Breaking news and just in, it is being reported that Judge Michael Chitty denied Karmelo Anthony a new trial. It is also being reported that Karmelo Anthony's lawyers have already appealed in higher court. Take a look and leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, and subscribe.
The judge denied the motion after 2 days of testimony focused on two major issues raised by Anthony's new attorneys. The defense argued Anthony's constitutional right to a public trial was violated because the original judge did not provide an overflow courtroom and more access to the public. They also argued an informal agreement between prosecutors and Anthony's former attorneys fell apart and affected the decision not to have Anthony testify. Now, the two sides have agreed to keeping damaging information about both Anthony and the Metcalf twins away from the jury and focus only on what happened the day Austin Metcalf was stabbed. Anthony's former attorneys testified they had collected allegations involving prior fights and racist incidents involving Austin and Hunter Metcalf, his twin brother. Prosecutors presented school disciplinary records and messages attributed to Anthony involving fighting, weapons, and violent threats and racist comments. The agreement was never put in writing, and the two sides disagreed over whether it protected Anthony from being questioned about his past if he testified. Legal expert Keith Harris says the hearings were emotional because this was the first time the public heard much of this evidence.
And so I know that there's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings right now, and a lot of that is because this is the first time that people heard a lot of this stuff, and maybe it does make a difference in the outcome, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe things are different one way or the other, good or bad for either sides. But I think that that is a lot of the surprise right now, is because there was a lot of stuff that people didn't hear, and maybe they should, maybe they would have if it had been streamed, maybe if there had been more public access, maybe if there were just so many things. And so I think that that's what we kind of have to balance, that's a lot of the emotion behind it as well.
The judge's ruling leaves Anthony's conviction in place, but his attorneys can now take their arguments to a higher court. Anthony's attorneys have already filed an order to appeal, so this will go to an appellate court, Teresa.
It will go to an appellate court, but that could take a while, right?
It could. It could take months before it goes to the Fifth Court of Appeals first, and then if that is denied, then it could go to the Court of Criminal Appeals, and if that's denied, it could go all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. So we're looking at months, possibly years, before we see any kind of resolution of whether or not all of this stands.